Welcome, everyone, to the NoDQ.com live recap of Monday Night Raw for June 30th, 2025. We are coming off Night of Champions. We have another event coming up very soon. We have Evolution. It's interesting to be doing this recap earlier than usual. Raw had a special start time of 6 p.m. Eastern, ended right at about 8:25 Eastern time. WWE is taping SmackDown as I'm doing this stream. A double taping. SmackDown will air on Friday, 4th of July. WWE giving the holiday off for talent and crew. I would be fine with Raw being at 6 o'clock every week. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would not be opposed to it. Let's just say that. All right, let's get to the show. We opened up with Rhea Bloody Ripley. She talked about how hopefully Judgment Day is behind her for good. She said with Evolution around the corner, she needs to get her priorities straight. And right away, we had an interruption from the women's champion, Io Sky. She said you cannot have Evolution without her. And she said that Rhea is not on top without the title. Io brought up how she spoke with Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. She could pick any opponent for Evolution, and she wants to face the best. She officially challenged Rhea Ripley for Evolution, and Evolution has been confirmed. Women's title match. Io Sky will defend against Rhea Ripley. Could we see the end of Io's title reign? With SummerSlam looming, would not shock me. We'll talk more about that when we get to predictions for Evolution, which will be the Thursday before Evolution. Mark your calendar. Quick, straight to the point, opening segment. I thought it was fine. Now, backstage, Dominic revealed to AJ Styles that he had a setback with his injury and AJ cannot touch him until he's cleared. Styles said that Dominic is going to get what's coming to him once he is, in fact, cleared. It was reported that Dominic had, I think, a rib injury, but a minor injury. I'm thinking we are going to see this match at SummerSlam, Dominic versus AJ Styles. We had our first match of the evening, Finn Bálor and JD McDonough going up against the New Day. Back and forth competitive match. At one point, Bálor accidentally hit JD with the coup de grace. New Day then took out Bálor with the Midnight Hour, the double team move that Big E and Kofi used to do. But Bálor kicked out of that. And then Bálor avoided the tip, the Trouble in Paradise. And then Xavier hit Bálor with the championship while the referee was distracted. Bálor still kicked out, though. JD then came back in, took out Xavier with the Spanish Fly. Kofi broke up the pin. And then Bálor took care of Kofi with the Sling Blade on the outside of the ring. And then they got back in the ring, moonsault to Xavier Woods from JD McDonough, and then Bálor came off the top with the coup de grace and picked up the 1-2-3 victory. Brand new tag team champions. I did not see this one coming. I thought for sure New Day was retaining, although it made sense later in the show, the reason for the title change. The reason I'm surprised is because New Day really had a lackluster run as champions. They won at WrestleMania. Just over 2 months as champions. It sucked. It was a huge letdown. And really, this entire New Day heel turn, I think it's been mostly a bust. Beyond the initial turn, it really did not live up to my own personal expectations. I was very much bummed out about it. But the match was good. It was a very good match, especially at the end. And like I said, I think it makes sense, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. I just don't know where New Day goes from here. Shout out to Shotgun Justice, who sent in a £5 or euro super chat. I always get them confused. Shout out to Shotgun Justice. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I love the wrestling history videos playlist you did back in 2013 or so. Any chance for an update to those videos? The best and worst of wrestling. Yeah, I might go back and revisit some of those old types of videos that I did. It would be tough to go back and watch every single pay-per-view like I did back in the day. I actually went and recapped every show on the WWE Network. When they put out all the pay-per-views, I watched every single one and recapped them. But yeah, I might try to do some updated lists at some point on the channel. Thank you for the suggestion, and I will definitely take that into consideration. Backstage, Bayley and Lyra were having a heated exchange. I guess Bayley's not returning Lyra's calls. Lyra tried to deny that she sabotaged Bayley's IC title match, and then Adam Pearce broke it up and told them to settle it in the ring. And a match was made for later, with the winner going on to face Becky Lynch for the championship. We had a really good video package for Bill Goldberg. That's one thing WWE always does well, the video packages. Throughout history, even when creative has been bad, the video packages are always on point. This video package showed all the great stuff that Goldberg did. His WCW run with the Streak, beating Hogan at the Georgia Dome, then going to WWE and winning the world title and just focusing on him spearing people like Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar, and then showing off his stuff from his comeback up until the segment with Gunther. It was great. It was very well done. It was effective at getting people hyped for Bill Goldberg as much as people are going to be hyped for him. We had footage of Penta taking out Chad Gable with the message, or not the message. What is his move called? I'm already forgetting that, where he snaps the arm. I think the message is Andrade's move. I can't think of what it is for the life of me. I'm sure somebody will say it in the chat room momentarily. But anyways, Chad Gable's arm was in a sling, and he was telling American Made to hold the fort down while he's gone. Adam Pearce wished Gable well with his recovery, and then Pearce said that we won't be seeing El Grande Americano for a while. But then Gable said that while Grande Americano has been busy, you never know. And then as they were all talking here, Ludwig Kaiser was seen in the background. And there was more on this, so stay tuned. We've all been talking about it, like, could Ludwig Kaiser become the new El Grande Americano? Well, there's a follow-up, so stay tuned. We had Rusev versus Sheamus, which I thought was a very good match, but man, the crowd was ass for this match. They were so quiet. We didn't even get the meat chants in this match, which if this was like an AEW crowd, they would have been hot for this. The crowd brought it down. Like, it should have been an all-time classic. These guys were going to town on each other. They were sweating. They were laying their shots in. It was quite the match. Just a very piss-poor crowd. On commentary, they mentioned Alberto Del Rio, which I thought was interesting. Sheamus power slammed Rusev on the floor. Then they traded some near falls. Rusev gave Sheamus a power slam, or not a power slam, a superplex, excuse me. And then They traded blows. The crowd did do the boo and yay, but they were supposed to do the meet. You had one job, Pittsburgh. You were supposed to chant meet, and you failed. You suck, Pittsburgh. I like the town. I like the hills of Pittsburgh, but yeah, they were not a very good crowd, although they did react for a few things, which we'll talk about later. Sheamus did the 10, 15 beats, however many there were. Rusev avoided the bro kick, and then Sheamus pulled down his knee pad, hit Rusev with the exposed knee, but Rusev kicked out, and then Rusev put on the accolade. Sheamus powered out of that. Both of them were on the outside. Rusev got hit with the brogue. He barely beat the 10 count, and then they were both in the corner, and while the referee was distracted, Rusev exposed the steel turnbuckle, the support beam, and he sent Sheamus sternum first into it, pulled him into it, and then hit him with a Mashka kick and got the 1-2-3 victory. Like I said, good match. Terrible crowd, though. They brought it down, unfortunately. Then backstage, we had JD McDonough with Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. Finn Balor wanted Raquel to remain tag team champions because she worked hard, so on and so forth, and suggested that Roxanne Perez replace Liv Morgan as tag team champion. You had Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce there, and they discussed it, and they said they would allow it. However, Raquel and Roxanne will have to prove themselves by defending the titles against not one, not two, but 3 teams. One from Raw, one from SmackDown, and one from NXT. I don't know if the Bellas are in this or not. Are they Raw? Maybe Nikki's in the Battle Royal? I don't know, but I'll talk about the Battle Royal here in just a second. They announced the Battle Royal, which was done by Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis in a video package. And they did confirm that the winner of this Battle Royal will receive a world title match at Clash at Paris, which is the premium live event at the end of August. Since the SummerSlam match has already been determined, the winner of the Battle Royal will get a title match in Paris. So maybe Nikki Bella ends up in that match. Otherwise, that really sucks for her. We'll see what happens. We got that Battle Royal. 3 matches confirmed now. We got the Battle Royal. We got the 4-way tag team title match. And then we got Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. So it's shaping up. And reportedly, Trish Stratus will be involved. We'll see if she shows up at the SmackDown portion of the Pittsburgh show. By the way, check out spoilers for SmackDown over at NoDQ.com. I'm thinking they'll be available by the time a good amount of you watch this. We had Karrion Kross attacking Sami Zayn backstage, and he hit him in the midsection with a pipe. Now, Zayn was scheduled for the main event match, and now his status was in question with this attack. So Kross still feuding with Sami Zayn. Maybe there is hope for Kross that he'll get a big win. And also, Ivy Nile cut a promo and vowed to enter the Women's Battle Royal, but then El Grande Americano showed up. He's a bit taller than El Grande Americano, and interestingly enough, we saw Ludwig Kaiser standing in the background earlier, and now a healthy El Grande Americano has appeared. I'm a fan of this. I like the fact that they're keeping El Grande Americano as a character, and it'll be funny and entertaining with Michael Cole being like, that's not the original El Grande Americano. We had the world champion Gunther come into the ring for a promo to hype up his match with Goldberg. He said Goldberg is not capable of taking the championship from him. He said he could beat Goldberg in 3 minutes, but He wants to take his time and embarrass Goldberg in Atlanta at Saturday night's main event. Gunther said he's the biggest bully in WWE, and he is going to treat Goldberg like a piece of crap. And he's going to show everyone that Goldberg never had it to begin with. He wanted to know who was next for him after he beats Goldberg. And sure enough, Seth freaking Rollins with Paul Heyman came out there. They got a custom briefcase for Rollins, the Money in the Bank contract briefcase. And Gunther said that Rollins traveled halfway around the world to accomplish nothing. But Rollins pointed out that he didn't go to Saudi Arabia to cash in on John Cena. He went there to make sure to live up to his promise that CM Punk would never be a world champion in WWE. And Rollins said that his mission to become a world champion, it's for both titles. Both people have to be on the edge of their seat. And at this point, CM Punk ran down. He got a big pop. Pittsburgh finally woke up. Punk ran down there, brawled with Rollins. Rollins managed to get away. And then as Punk was walking away to leave the ring, he bumped into Gunther, and he was so pissed he shoved Gunther down. So we got the seeds planted for CM Punk versus Gunther whenever that happens. You know there's going to be a follow-up to that. And then we weren't even done because Rollins was in the crowd after he fled. He got attacked by LA Knight. LA Knight brawled with Rollins in the concession area. And that was the end of the segment. I thought it was a really good segment, maybe the best segment on the entire show. I liked this because they managed to tease 4 different matches in addition to hyping up the match that's coming up. Obviously, we got Gunther versus Goldberg. They built that up. But they also teased Seth Rollins versus CM Punk again. They teased Seth Rollins versus LA Knight, Seth Rollins versus Gunther, and CM Punk versus Gunther. I mean, they did a fantastic job here. I love these types of segments where you can build up a lot of different matches in one segment. You know, it's very effective, and I always enjoy these types of segments when you get a lot of different people involved and you're teasing several things at once. So well done, WWE. This was a very good segment. We had Raquel backstage with Judgment Day, and she didn't really want to have Roxanne as her partner. She said that Liv is rehabbing and already on the mend, but Finn Balor pointed out that it's a long road to recovery, and he wants Raquel to stay champion. And he wanted Roxanne officially in Judgment Day as one of the tag team champions. JD McDonough said yes. Finn Balor said he had to talk to Liv first, but Balor did talk Dominic into it. Dominic said alleged yes. And then Raquel reluctantly agreed. Obviously, she wants to keep her tag title. So, yeah, she said Roxanne better hold up her end of the deal. And then all 5 of them posed with their championships. So, like I said earlier, this actually did make sense because now Judgment Day, the entire group has a championship. All 5 of them have titles. There you go. That's why they did it. Sucks for New Day, but yeah, Judgment Day is still a thing. They got to get better music, though. I hate the music change. Like, awful song that they have. To me, it sounds almost like the Street Profits theme song, and that's a terrible one as well. We had a Kairi Sane video package. She's vowing to win all the gold. She's on her singles run now. And then we had Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria, which was a good match, although once again, not much crowd heat for it. The crowd was quiet for this, but they went back and forth. They were trading pin attempts, and then they did a double pin. And since both women had their shoulders down, the referee called it a draw. It was a draw. The fight continued after the match. They brawled into the crowd, and then you had officials come out there and break them up. So yeah, it's still a setup for a triple threat. I think it was better than Becky Lynch coming out there and doing the routine where she costs both of them and causes the match to be thrown out. And then, the general manager's like, well, since you did that, now you got to face both of them. At least they did something. So it was a change from that. It's fine. It's something different. I think they rely too much on the DQs and then the interference. So, you do the double pin. It's a draw. That's fine. Match itself was all right. But again, lack of crowd heat. Shout out to Sean. I think that's Shakir9884. Thank you for that. I appreciate the super chat. They changed the usernames on YouTube for some reason. But anyways, thank you again for the super chat. The comment here is, unrelated topic that could be saved for the end. Well, I'm going to do it right now. Between a signing event and going to the Rikishi show, there is definitely an abundance of Bloodline kids down the road in WWE. LOL, all gas, no brakes family. Yeah, that Bloodline family, they seem to have an endless supply of wrestlers ready to go. I mean, they're very family oriented. They all have kids and cousins and different relatives and people that aren't relatives, but they all are from the same part of the world. So they're all tied together in some form or fashion. Some with different lifestyles, some with the same, but they all have some kind of a connection. Yep, the Samoans have definitely made an impact on professional wrestling. All right, let's talk about the next segment backstage. We had CM Punk being interviewed. He said he has receipts for Seth Rollins and the rest of Rollins' group. They still don't have a name for whatever reason. And we had LA Knight approaching Punk, and Punk told Knight to get into the back of the line for Rollins, but Knight said that he is the line. And he said he's got the match with Rollins at Saturday night's main event, and then he walked off. So they're not doing it at SummerSlam. They're doing LA Knight versus Rollins at Saturday night's main event. Makes me think Rollins has other plans. I mean, you would think it's Rollins versus either Punk or Roman Reigns. Are they going to do a triple threat rematch, perhaps? I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out, where does Roman Reigns fit into all this for SummerSlam? One would think he'll be at Saturday night's main event and he'll get involved somehow. Shout out to JRO85. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. It says, any chance on a return of the no DQ panel? If there's demand for it, I'm definitely open to the idea of bringing it back. I mean, we've been doing the no DQ review, which is basically a live version of the no DQ panel where we have the different topics and we all give our thoughts on the topic. But yeah, we may consider doing like one topic specific in a video, if that's what you're talking about specifically. Shout out to the Lonely Soldier, who's the This Guy Experience. I'm just thrown off here because all the usernames on YouTube have changed. This guy says Sheamus versus Rusev shouldn't been double count out. Should have or shouldn't have been. It wasn't a double count out. Yeah, I think you meant that you think it should have been a double count out. I'm fine with Rusev winning at this point. Sheamus, he's probably, moving down the card and everything. He might get one more title before it's all said and done. But yeah, I think Rusev winning was the right call. Yeah, apparently YouTube made a change where the handles show up instead of the names. So I don't know why they did that, but they did. All right, main event. We had the tag team match. And yes, Sami Zayn did go out there for the match despite the attack from Karrion Kross. He teamed up with Penta against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. They have new crappy music as a team. It's like a supposed to be a mesh of Reed's music with Braun Breaker's music, but it wasn't too good. Paul Heyman was out there, and before the match, Heyman did say that Rollins had left on a jet for Plan B, whatever that means. I thought Rollins was going to show up at the end, but he did not. So we had the match, which was another good match here. Crowd did like this more than some of the other matches on the show. Zayn and Penta worked well together. They did the double dives, and then Zayn did a sunset flip power bomb to Reed. Reed kicked out of that, and then Bron and Bronson got the upper hand on Zayn for a while. Then Penta got the hot tag. He took out Bron with the sacrifice. That's the move. The sacrifice is Penta's move. The message is Andrade's move. I keep getting those two move names mixed up. Heyman then got on the apron. We had the interference, and Bronson Reed took advantage of the distraction. And then things broke down with all four men in the ring. And then Penta avoided the tsunami. Sami Zayn suplexed Reed, but then he got hit with a spear from Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker got the 1-2-3 victory. And also Sami Zayn during the match did a tribute to Sabu. But yeah, Sami Zayn takes the loss here, which is fine. He got attacked by Cross. He wasn't 100%. And then after the match, Penta was speared. The bad guys were going to deliver more punishment. But then Jey Uso showed up with a steel chair. He attacked both guys, and the three baby faces, Jey, Penta, and Zayn, stood tall to close out Raw. Overall, I thought Raw was a good show. I think the Pittsburgh crowd was a little weak for the most part. I give the show a 6 out of 10. I think it was a good, but not a top tier Raw. I did enjoy it, but I felt like the lack of energy from the crowd actually hurt the show a little bit. 6 out of 10. They did some good segments. I really liked that Gunther promo. Solid wrestling on the show. It was good. This guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, Bailey brought the best out of Crow Girl. Sup, Aaron. Crow Girl, you mean Lyra Valkyria? I've already forgot that she was called Crow Girl. Was she a crow, or what was the bird she's supposed to be? I already forgot what she is. But anyways, I didn't think she was a crow. The bird lady. I'm not sure. Was it an eagle? What bird is she supposed to be? Somebody in the chat room help me. I'm really confused now. I just know they called her the bird lady. I don't remember her being called the crow lady. Matthew thinks she's supposed to be a raven. Well, there's already a wrestler named Raven, and Sting was the crow, so she's got to claim a different bird, I think. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you all so much. And if you want the No DQ panel videos to come back, or if you want me to bring back something from the past, like doing a best to worst list, let me know in the comments. I'm all up for suggestions. Like, if you guys got an idea of what you think would help the channel, if there's a specific video type you're interested in, let me know. If there's demand for something, I might just bring it back. So leave your comments, leave your thoughts, and that's all I got for tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in early. It was a nice little change of pace, and I look forward to more. I know we got some early shows coming up. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. Enjoy your week, everyone. Enjoy 4th of July. Check out the No DQ review Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Say yes to No DQ, and I will see you all next time.